In this section, we will look at who wins and who loses from international trade. Let's look at imports. Imports are what a country buys from another country, and exports are what a country sells to another country. We know the driving force behind international trade is comparative advantage or the lowest opportunity cost. This section we would look at why a country will import from another country. Here I have the basic demand and supply graph, the equilibrium price at the intersection of the domestic demand and domestic supply is equal to $8, and the quantity demanded and quantity supplied are equal to 40 units. Next, we want to find out the consumers and the producers surplus. The consumer surplus is the area below the demand curve and the equilibrium price of $8. That's this part, which is A. And the producer's surplus is the area above the supply curve and below the equilibrium price, which is B. That's this part. I can use a formula to calculate the consumers and the producer's surplus. That's this one. This is a right angle triangle. So it will be half times the base, that is 40, times height, that's 15 minus 8, that's 7. So here I made this calculation. This one is our consumer surplus before trade. Now let's look at the producer surplus before trade. That's this part B, which is half times 40 times 8 minus 4, that's 4. So we have this as 80 units. Now the world price is $5, which is less than the US price of $8. So US will import. The question is, how much will the US import? After trade, the US price falls to the world price, which is $5. Look at where this $5 line is cutting the supply curve and where it is cutting the demand curve. The new quantity supplied in the US is equal to 20 units. This is where $5 is touching the supply curve. And the new quantity demanded in the US is 60 units. This is where $5 touches the demand curve. Now the imports equal to quantity demanded in the US. From that we subtract the quantity supplied in the US, that is 40 units. Let's now look at consumers and producers surplus. The new equilibrium price is $5. So this whole area below the demand curve and above the equilibrium price of $5 is counted towards the consumer's surplus. So it is half times 15 minus 5, that's 10, times 60. So after trade, the consumer surplus equals 300. And the producer surplus has contracted, and this is this part which is above the supply curve and below the equilibrium price of $5. So this is half times 20 times 5 minus 4, that's 1. So the new producer surplus is 10 units. So who gains and who loses after trade? The consumers, they will gain after trade, and producers, they're going to lose after trade. Now, if you want to calculate the net gain, that means the difference between consumers' gain and producers' loss, that's 300 minus 10. So you have 290, that's greater than 0. That means the net gain is positive after trade. Okay, this is why a country will import from another country. Next part, we'll look at why a country will export to another country.